Shalom to all the Jews and Gentiles alike, sending a strong Shalom to the children of lights. Namaste to all. You already know what the deal is. We're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, our power, to 𝐁𝐸, the Great Spirits, the All Parents, down in our Father Universe, Yahuwah Sabaoth, Anu Kased, Wakanda, Hawa, Yahadonai, and acknowledgement to our earthly mother, and acknowledgement to our elder brother, Yahushua HaMashiach, 𝐁𝐸𝐲𝐬, Matzah the Lamb, Yesiah the Messiah, Yahusha, the Lion from the tribe of Yehuda, the one the world calls Jesus Christ. So today, brethren and sistren, we got that 10th Light Picture Superscript. So you already know we're going to be eating a little bit out the 10th Superscript. But before we start eating and getting into the lesson, let's first get some definitions real quick. All right. Let's get the definition for Ain Soph. All right. Ain Soph, the limitless, the source of light that sees and knows and manifests the power of Elohim. Let's get Ain Soph, or the infinite light that directs the worlds through divine light power. And then let's get another definition for Atik Yomin. Atik Yomin, Ancient of Days, the divine mind as a collection of all the divine sparks that existed from before the dawn of creation to the present, connected with the mind of the Elohim. One that provides also the thought forms behind present and future creations in association with the recent of days and the future of days. So we're going to be talking about creation and the Quanta decks. We're going to find out what the Quanta decks are. But let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's go to the 8th Light Picture Superscripts. Thou shalt be the wisdom. We're going to go to verse 1. The Ain Soph was before the beginning, the all without separation, the everything, the oneness, unmanifest yet manifest. It was all things before past, present, and future, before multi-dimensional realities, before worlds within worlds. It is the infinite. Let's get some precepts. Let's go to the 9th Light Picture Superscript. Thou shalt be the communion. Let's go to verse 1. Realms of the eternal divine mind, or minds of the Godhead, were present before physical creation, existed as realms of Ain Soph, infinite oneness without separation. Yet to bring forth life, realms of experience need to manifest. Throughout these realms, the divine mind of the all continues to generate and manifest networks of Elohistic creations through co-partnership with the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. Let's go to verse 7. As everything is generated and integrated from the divine realms as the source of all sources, that is, from the divine Godhead, which Enoch defined as Yahuwah, Elohim, Atik Yomin. Life is further empowered by the Holy Spirit, connected with the Shekinah universes as gifts of life issue forth for all existence. Let's go to the 10th light picture superscript. Thou shalt be the covenant. Verse 1 from the top. From the oneness of the Ain Soph, the limitless, unfolds the Trinity power as 𝐁𝐸 Elohim Atik Yomin, introducing the codes of creation for the genesis of new realms of life within the infinite way. These codes of creation emanate as 𝐁𝐸 𝐤𝐸 𝐻𝐸 𝐤𝐸 connecting all creation, all being, through the power of Elohim that is continually linked with the Ain Soph, the limitless. All being is all created in harmony with the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, the emanating spirit of creation of the divine mind through thought forms in oneness with the Atik Yomin, the universal mind, who is and who continues to establish the greater consciousness fields of life. Let's go back to the 8th light picture superscript. Verse 4. Each divine triple power in turn has its own trinity, whereby the power of the divine Father is revealed as Yahuwah Elohim Atik Yomin, which creates and expands throughout all realities. Specifically, Yahuwah functions with the creative power through the Elohim in the expansion of thought emanating as the Atik Yomin. So let's clarify real quick, alright, in the definitions. Because 𝐁𝐸 𝐤𝐸 is the revealed name of our Father Universe. Alright, let's get that real quick. Let's go to the definition in the keys. Alright, 𝐁𝐸 𝐤𝐸, of the living everlasting light, the revealed name to our Father Universe of the living God behind all creator gods. All right, that's the divine mind right there. Right, that's going through everything in creation. And so Yahuwah or 𝐁𝐸, right, is the manifestation of 𝐁𝐸 𝐤𝐸. Okay, just like what my brother Main say, he the mob boss. That's the mob boss right there. So let's go back to the 8th light picture superscript. Let's go to verse 9. Initially, creation is generated by the Father and the Holy Spirit, who established the energy fields in what Enoch calls the Shekinah universe, which are realms of expanding mathematical dynamical orders. The Shekinah is the presence of God, and she coordinates the interactions of the hierarchies of the divine to work with the accelerated energies of soul, life, evolution everywhere. Verse 12. The keys of Enoch tells us, likewise, the Trinity works through 3 principal components: the Father universes for the divine administrative powers, the Son universes for the manifested realms of soul growth, and the Shekinah universes, associated with the Holy Spirit, for the inner creative matrix of love and life. Although the purpose and complexities of creation are vast for our existence, this is the best way to define our reality. The Shekinah universe exemplifies the matrix of creation, for it contains the codes within codes of the Father that emanate into various creative realms. It also maintains and instills the conscious linkage associated with the Shekinah presence, bringing forth the higher light and higher wisdom to all life. I was shown how the conscious linkage permeates the divine holarchies and generally emanates from the Father universes. Let's get a precept. Let's go to the 9th light picture superscript. Verse 8. Ultimately, everything is an ongoing dynamic of consciousness linkages from the Godhead, which shares in the infinite combinations and connections initiated from the divine mind in what could be defined as a father universe. Back to the 8th superscript, verse 16. In fact, there are multiple father universes, although the power of 𝐁𝐻𝐸 exists throughout all life, coded in its permutations. Each universe lends itself to a focus on the many and the one, like the inner core of a flower. Each father universe sends out a multitude of petals to blossom forth, creating what could be called sun universes, which is what we live in, that cover all evolutionary spectrums. Each of these sun universes exemplifies the unfoldment of a father universe, introducing the thought forms from the divine holarchies to all levels of new creation. Let's go to the 9th Light Picture Superscript, verse 10. Life thus unfolds throughout all of existence as the primordial expansion from the divine thoughts of the Godhead. The divine thoughts thus are not truly segmented, yet as each thought becomes manifest as action, it creates manifestations arising in and for a wide variety of new realities, best described as sun universes. Our sun universes is one of the many manifestations of the all that is, and one of many sun universes. Our sun universe also has multiverses within it, as well as multi-dimensions, and most importantly, a myriad trees of creation, establishing both physical and non-physical life forms along with trees of life. Verse 15. The trees of creation within this sun universe are created to generate myriad births of life and the beginnings of life forms. This means there are myriad image forms generated in myriad complementary domains through code structures of life as part of a greater plan of creation, whereby continuous existence takes place. Let's go back to the 8th. Verse 24. As a flower blossoming forth, the higher light forces bring God consciousness into multi-dimensional levels of creation. Yet it is here in the sun universe, mainly due to free will, that the consciousness linkage becomes less secure. Here, free will becomes a major player in life, especially in our dualistically based sun universe. In fact, each sun universe can be thought of as an experimental realm, as they are designed by the B'nai Elohim, which are the sons of Elohim, sometimes for their own experimentation and their own evolutionary vision. Therefore, all hierarchies also have free will, and so it is available in all realities, not just ours. It is also available on all levels of conscious unfoldment and existence. Verse 29. By virtue of being in sun universes like our own, we are in a state of growth with many evolutionary tracks. Verse 33. In fact, each sun universe has multiple universes within it, either from a previous universe or simultaneously occurring multi-universes. And within each multiverse, there are interconnected multi-dimensions. This introduces the vastness of just one singularity within the myriad aspects of the greater creation. Yes, we live in one of the myriad sun universes, which is generated within one of the myriad father universes and sustained by the divine spirit. Each sun universe is orderly and based on what could be seen as a holographically designed structure created by conscious divine beings. These beings in turn create myriad local universes containing various life reality spaces, establishing experience of life which they seek to design and manage. Ultimately, the goal of each sun universe is to enlighten souls who are becoming manifest so they evolve into oneness with the divine spirit. Let's go to verse 45. The thought forms for creation are originally generated by the power of the Elohim and the Atik Yomin from the treasury of light. The treasury of light houses the thought forms that are in turn given to the B'nai Elohim, the sons of Elohim, to be used throughout each sun universe, although every creative thought creates its own ongoing universe of meaning. Alright, so let's find out what the treasury of light is. Let's go to the 10th Light Picture Superscript. Thou shalt be the covenant. Verse 4. Principally, all divine thought forms and their emanations are organized within the divine treasury of light. Right? So it's like a spiritual library. Okay? Which generates and initiates various life reality spaces, creating myriads of universes. That is, from the treasury of light in connection with the Atik Yomin, new thoughts endlessly continue to manifest as creation, emanating myriads of life forms for their own experiences and unfoldments. Let's go to verse 11. Specifically, from the treasury of light, different light formation patterns are sent forth to establish new geometric shells for the positioning of information within the life reality spaces, including a host of diversifications of emanating higher light. Thus, from the treasury of light, a transfer of stored patterns is interwoven to generate new life reality spaces from thought forms instilled within various realms of life, designed especially to be received by the minds of new creation. Hence, in various life reality spaces, light particles establish the necessary requirements for the code imprinting and imaging experiences of higher life, higher light being made, ready for the consciousness fields of life. These new realms of creation Enoch defined as sun universes, which are evolutionary in their design as they are made manifest. There is holarchical/hierarchical matching, which works according to the thought form matrix from the Father universes and the Shekinah universes to generate and establish new zones of consciousness evolution in sun universes. Succinctly, the boundaries of the Shekinah universe with the Father universe overlap, interpenetrate, and attach to each new sun universe. Creation generally starts from the center of oneness and then moves out into various layers and geometries in mandala-like structures, which reveal the true patterning of the sun universes with its various unfoldments. Let's go to verse 25. Although we were taught to think that we are the central focus of creation, we are beginning to discover that we are a minute aspect of a much more complex, multi-level, multi-dimensional system of myriad creations. Yet our unique consciousness, or what should be called our own unique similitude, our likeness, still has a non-local divine linkage. It is specifically the work of the holarchy/hierarchies and councils of light to add, to enhance the conscious direction and prescribe the process of evolution in a greater interwoven plan. Moreover, the holarchy/hierarchies, together with the B'nai Elohim, establish the various evolutionary programs to operate within the various sun universes and in their unique neighborhoods. So from their directions, a consciousness mind matrix is established, which indwells both consciously and unconsciously in all life forms. You too are part of the divine conscious matrix that interacts with you regardless of your light or matter form. For all life can share in the superfields of consciousness to some degree. The initial configurations are generated from the library of universal thought forms, known also to the ancients as the treasury of light. This establishes the thought form super programs into sub programs, which are numerical/geometrical and capable of generating higher light, matter, and thoughts for created species anatomies. Verse 34. Although each sun universe has its own unique plan for soul evolution, this additionally means that in each new thought form realm exists a unique consciousness time zone, where time is best defined as alpha and omega. Let's get a quick little precept. Let's go to the 9th Light Picture Superscript. Verse 20. Yes, there are also veils of higher light and various garments of form, each with their own start and stop sequences, establishing life in various dimensional worlds and consciousness time zones of the myriad sun universes. Let's go back to the 10. The big old 10. Let's go to verse 35. 10 superscript. Enoch told me that time is within the consciousness of the species. What did we talk about last lesson? We were talking about time. Alright? Again, Enoch told me that time is within the consciousness of the species. So time as we know it depends on the operating system aligned with the consciousness of each life form, operating between the beginning and the end of a specific program of creation. Hence, the notion that time can be cut short, right? Just like what we read in Matthew 24:22. All right. 36. Although each phase of creation appears to operate independently, establishing an alpha omega program, each is originally emanated from the ongoing trinity of trinities as 𝐁𝐻 𝐤𝐬, Holy Spirit, Christ, and thus the connection is ultimately available to all. From the most delicate metabolism of limited differential life forms to the most advanced intelligences, all life is interconnected with the Godhead and thus can be reconnected with the divine presence, the Shekinah, at any point of existence if the consciousness moves into alignment. This power of alignment is first coordinated with the Shekinah universe associated with the Divine Mother and the Holy Spirit, which becomes the Divine Mother Matrix. The Divine Mother is the inner garment of loving and sustaining energy known by her many names. To the sages of old, she was the female principle of the Godhead. In relationship to the greater life process, the womb of the Divine Mother serves as an incubator for the souls moving into life and their transmutation into other life experiences. In fact, the pattern formation of every human organ is conceived in the image of the Divine Father. Yahuwah Elohim, 𝐁𝐻 Elohim, and the Divine Mother, the Ima, the supernal Ima, and ultimately transmitted into our 3D/4D realm through the womb of space-time. Let's get a precept. Let's go to the second Light Picture Superscript. Thou shalt be the image. Let's go to verse 28. The mysteries of ongoing creation are connected through the Divine Mother, Ima, where each life form is established by her weaving of the fabric of higher life into new creative life experiences. She does this out of her greater love, directing flowing streams of supporting energy which nourish new systems of life. She also sends forth the similitude, the likeness, as a sustaining field that further weaves mirror-like pulsating patterns to sustain the image and keep it in its alignment with the divine source. Verse 34. Here the elements of the mother further becomes an envelope or womb matrix brought into new sun universes to carry forth the various life creations. It is also the mother, the Ima, as the vehicle for the Holy Spirit / Shekinah that further sustains the emanations of new birth and allows the Christ as the only begotten to indwell in any number of incarnate forms. Back to the 10th superscript. 52. Specifically, beginning at the alpha point of our sun universe, various thoughts and their associated numerical seed forms emanate throughout myriad hyperspace planes as expanding regions of life become manifest. Simultaneously, the conscious mind matrix begins to create worlds within worlds, down to the element +1 or -1 activities of life manifestation. Verse 55. Unique algorithms further manifest as complex more patterns of higher light in the establishing of quanta decks. So we're about to learn about these quanta decks and see how it unfolds, no pun intended. Verse 56. So what takes place in the highest dimensions also manifest in other dimensions as decks becoming manifest. Through the process of unfolding quanta decks, conscious thoughts on higher levels manifest as conscious thoughts on all subsequent levels or dimensional realities, although with slightly different pattern formations. In each quanta deck level, generations of conscious geometries merge from left and the right, the upper and the lower, the inner and the outer, as initial configurations for life. In this way, a library of information is expanded from the initial coding mechanisms, allowing the higher worlds of archetypes and creativity, right? Which is that Absolute and the Bria, right? That's the higher worlds. And it moves into lower worlds of formation and manifestation, the 𝐁𝐤𝐝 and the 𝐁𝐴. Verse 59. For the total quanta deck with its many categorical extensions, what is taking place in this reality is also occurring on other levels of the quanta deck and vice versa. So what is going on in the higher realms, the higher dimensions, is manifesting in the other dimensions. All right, let's go to the keys. Let's go to the keys. Let's get some more information on these quanta decks. Let's go to key 118, verse 43. Through the expression, 49 transitional states of consciousness are used to teach man how his conscious options can be integrated with other conscious time zones in space-time production by boundary identity of exact opposites. The fission of a quantum state and the fusion of fragments back to a quantum. Mass can be generated into new perception quantum and man into a new operational entity. Hold on. Let's get some more. Let's get some more on it. I know this can kind of be crazy. So we gotta expand. We expanding. Let's go to key 312. It's page 43, verse 97. It is important at this time for man to overstand consciousness regeneration taking place through a quanta deck of light. The quanta deck is a 49 transitional states of consciousness which are used to teach man how his consciousness options can be integrated with other consciousness time zones in space-time production. The quanta decks of light are progressively sent out from the center of our galaxy to the individual branches of the star populations in order to develop an index of operations that are in resonance with the chief index stored in the center of the galaxy. All right, so let's go back to the 10th light picture superscript. Let's go to verse 64. Yet ideally, each level of creation or each deck is designed to equally become focused towards the higher light. Evolution is thus a movement of thoughts necessary for the various levels of creation designed, ultimately to reconnect and ascend. Let's go to verse 69. Creation in reality works with the oscillating thought form energy couplings that form progressive soul evolutionary designs, from the mega vibrations of the universe to the smallest life forms. The thought forms are preset according to the unfolding of information, like a massive algorithm that selects parameters in its unfoldments into the positions of information geometric extensions of the main lattice network. So at the beginning of each sun universe, a plan of organization for soul development and soul evolution is established at the alpha phase, which is the beginning, but generally divine thought forms need to be continually fed into the conscious field to update the system to override any limitations in consciousness overstanding. In each new life reality space, various soul types are created as emanations of their holarchies/hierarchies. Yet regardless, all life forms are designed to work in expanding consciousness realities and to evolve to function in all 24 plus dimensions of any one reality. Let's get a preset. Let's go back to verse 46. Specifically, various holarchies/hierarchies participate in maintaining and sometimes generating varieties of life forms. In fact, our Adamic form works with its own unique holarchies/hierarchies and sub-hierarchies or families within the emanated structures of creation. Let's go to verse 82. Our universe, the stars, and all of creation are a divine design. All life initially is, and behind the divine design resides a divine plan. The divine plan is for all resonant systems in any reality to achieve the I am that I am, divinity, which is uniquely structured to work with even the lowest periodic subatomic structures, as well as the most elevated thought forms existing within any macro point in the multi-dimensional cosmic universe. Moreover, the formation of stellar and planetary groups are all part of a greater programming development on a variety of levels necessary to move life beyond the critical embryonic stage, beyond the incubation period, to experience divine consciousness. This is also why inherent in each creation, and hence in our universe, there are unique mystical numbers which manifest geometries that ultimately recompose the gateway to and from the treasury of light, understood in terms of numerical codings. Verse 86. Nothing is designed to be happenstance, and hence reality, including the stars, is prearranged. The indigenous of the New World understood this, and the Maya called the one who ordered the universe 𝐁𝐤𝐤𝐬. She is the weaver who, according to Mayan tradition, manifests the sacred matrix of the heavens, which she uses like a loom to create life at specific nodal points in the cosmos. To us, stars appear positioned in a random geometry, but to the Maya, the cosmic weaver placed them in the heavens based on a multi-dimensional pattern that she helped to establish. Let's get a precept. Let's go to the 7th Light Picture Superscript. Thou shalt be the witness. Let's go to verse 376. Stars are really cosmograms, cosmic pictures, coded as a cosmic management system by higher intelligence, which determines the set patterns of the local realms, seen particularly in the key geometries displayed by such star patterns as the Pleiades and Orion, but also in all star systems. The Maya understood this and used the name 𝐁𝐤𝐤𝐬, meaning lady cloth weaver. The weaver was the one who established the sacred matrix of the heavens, which she used like a loom to create stars at specific nodal points of the multi-dimensional grid pattern throughout the cosmos. Alright, let's go back to the 10th Light Picture Superscript. Let's go to 105. Yet it is important to know that the mathematical perfection of life comes first from divine consciousness. Specifically, what I was shown is that everything emanates from the original thought forms that designed our universe from the treasury of light. The various sound/geometry patterns are made manifest to design, maintain, redeem, redesign creation according to the Elohim and the B'nai Elohim, the creator sons of light. Again, the divine plan begins with the awareness of unity and oneness with the divine. From our reality, we only see creation from a 3/4 dimensional perspective and do not see its unfolding complexity in the orchestration of life. Yet, our reality is based on divine thoughts that unfold through consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Again, our reality is based on divine thoughts that unfold through consciousness, and the mathematical, geometrical sound matrix is also generated from consciousness, which comes before all things. Let's go to 113. In addition to 10, a trinity power can also be added to reach 13, which according to the Pistis Sophia is the highest deck level in our sun universe. Let's go to the Pistis Sophia. Let's go to page 87. And what we're looking at here is the structure of the left. Okay, and you see at the top there is the height, and the height is the right, and the midst is the space between the left and the right. Okay. And then you see the 13 eon right there, and it goes down in the Hemar Meme, and the Hemar Meme is fate. And then you get down a bit lower, right? There's the 12 eons, right? And the archons. Then when you get, more down into it, the realms of chaos. All right, so let's go to the 10th superscript and look at these Quanta decks to get more visuals. See that Ain Soph light at the top? And you see how it's going down? So what takes place in the highest dimensions manifests in other dimensions, okay? All right, so let's go to verse 312. Enoch showed me, this is the creation of many earth worlds, and we, as a subspecies of the atom Kadmon, the primordial body of light, played a supervisory role in the garden, which managed the entire stellar and local multi-dimensional universe. That is why we were given the ability to name the animals in our life reality space, because we were managing the trees of creation in the garden of life. This garden was not on planet Earth, but within the pinnacle of the Quanta deck. Some Gnostics call the 13th eon. So the Garden of Eden wasn't a spiritual zone. It was in a spiritual zone. So we ate a little bit out of the 10th Light Picture Superscript. Thou shall be the covenant. Just like what my brother may say, we gonna power up. Now that we got the 10th superscript, we gonna power up. I was over here on the website just refreshing, like at least every day, twice a day actually. I'll be refreshing twice a day. Like, come on, refresh, hitting the refresh button, refresh, nothing yet, refresh, and finally got like, oh, I was over here scrambling. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta, I had to celebrate. I was like, yep, we got it. We finally got it. So if you don't got you that 10 superscript just yet, definitely go get you one. All right. So that is gonna be it for this lesson, for this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. You learned something new. Hopefully you were edified. You had something to snack on, had something to munch on, grabbed you a snack out of the pantry closet, had you something to nibble on, had you some dinner. Hopefully it was bussin', and I say shalom and stay strong.